Oi oi girls and boys and everything in between, it's Ace Trainer Liam back with a brand new series called MetroMania. You guys have been loving the Metronome Battles in the Form Fight series, and I figured why not have a little bit of fun with that. So what we're going to do over the next several weeks, we're going to have a 16 Pokemon Metronome Battle tournament, which is known as MetroMania. I've chosen the 16 competitors out of Pokemon that can actually learn Metronome, so whether that's by TM in Generation 1, Move Tutor in Generation 3, or just by level up, and these Pokemon are going to compete in double battles with the regular version and the shiny version against their opponents, and whoever wins moves on to the next stage until we have the first ever MetroMania Champion. Obviously this is mainly for a bit of fun because of course the metronome is unpredictable, we don't know who's going to win, the strongest Pokemon might not necessarily be the one that wins, the weakest Pokemon out of all of these could be the one that goes all the way through to the end. You just have to wait and see. I'm really excited for this series and I hope you guys are as well. If you are excited, of course hit the like button, turn on notifications so that you don't miss an episode of this series, and let's take a look at the 16 Pokemon that are going to be competing. So as you can see, the roster that we've got here is completely stacked. We've got Clefable, Alakazam, Snorlax, Dusknoir, Togekiss, Hariyama, Blissey, Politoed, Miltank, Ludicolo, Ursaring, Ambipom, Mr. Mime, Medicham, Gengar, and Sableye. These are the 16 Pokemon that are going to be competing in the first season of Metromania. There are going to be 8 heats. That'll reveal who our quarterfinal competitors are going to be, and then of course the quarterfinals will determine the semi-finals will determine the finals, and then the final 2 Pokemon will go head-to-head in our final to crown the first ever MetroMania Champion. Heat number 1 is going to be Clefable versus Alakazam, so let's jump straight into the action. Here we go, Metromania is underway. This is the first round battle in our 16 Pokemon tournament, Clefable versus Alakazam. These matches will be best of 3, so don't worry if your favourite Pokemon doesn't win their first battle because they have the opportunity to redeem themselves. Alakazam's going to start off strong with a Crunch, not taking advantage of its killer special attack stat. I believe Alakazam actually has the highest special attack out of all our competitors. We see a Dizzy Punch from the other Alakazam doing a little bit of damage but not confusing the opposing Clefable. Here we see Clefable coming out with a Sucker Punch, which of course is going to fail because it hasn't moved first and everybody's used Metronome. We see Razor Shell coming out from the shiny Clefable there on the shiny Alakazam, doing a significant amount of damage. So the Clefable team, not the worst start, but also not the best. Here we see Alakazam responding with Power Trip. Okay, you have some fun with that, Alakazam. Did not do very much damage at all. What will shiny Alakazam bring to the table? Zing Zap, the signature move of Togedemaru. That has a chance to flinch as well. That could be scary for Clefable. Here we see regular Clefable going in with Bone Club. Going to do a physical amount of damage and a little bit of damage. I wouldn't say it was too much there on the old shiny Alakazam. As shiny Clefable comes out with a Leech Life, that's going to be super effective on regular Alakazam, taking more than 3/4, I would say, of its HP, and of course restoring some of shiny Clefable's HP. That was an incredible play, taking advantage of the Psychic type's weakness to Bug type moves. Memento. So, shiny Alakazam, I don't know if it's playing mind games or what, but it's going to take itself out to lower the attack and special attack harshly of the shiny Clefable. I don't know if that's a strategy you really want to employ right now. Here comes the remaining Alakazam with an Air Slash onto the regular Clefable. It does have a chance to flinch, but you really need to pull the boat out now, Alakazam. What are you going to do here? We see Ice Hammer coming out from Clefable. And just, oh, it's not quite yet. I almost called it too soon in the first battle, but I can't see this Alakazam surviving much longer. We see multi-attack. That is it for round 1. That has to be. It hits Alakazam. Alakazam goes down. That is 1 point to Clefable as we enter round 2, ready for action, bringing the Alakazam team back out. They really, really are fighting on the, they've got to be on the offensive now. The Clefable team can play it cool, can take it easy. They've got 1 win under their belt. They don't have to worry. We see a Horn Attack from regular Alakazam onto shiny Clefable for a tiny bit of damage. I mean, Clefable has some bulk, but I didn't realize it was this much bulk. We see Brine coming out from Shiny Alakazam. They're targeting the same Clefable, and that is smart. Take out one, and the other will be easier to take down. We see Poison Powder coming out from Clefable onto Alakazam. Alakazam, of course, I believe has the Synchronize ability. All the Pokemon in this tournament have their primary ability, so Clefable is also going to get poison there. That's not looking good for the Clefable in this battle. We see Present coming out from regular Clefable. It is going to deal some damage rather than healing. The Present can be a double-edged sword there, as we see the poison taking effect on both these Pokemon. Clefable and Alakazam there. Here we see regular Alakazam. What's it going to bring? It's bringing Acid, which is going to be super effective on both the Clefable, doing a decent amount of damage. It's not looking good for the Shiny Clefable at this point, as Shiny Alakazam comes in with the Gunk Shot. That's going to be super effective. That's amazing. So that is going to do a significant amount of damage. This is what Alakazam should have done in round 1. I don't know why Alakazam wasn't bringing out these tactics in the first round of this battle. We see a Storm Throw. It's not going to be a very effective move there, but there is the crit. Didn't do much damage at all, of course, because Psychic resists fighting. Shiny Clefable, what you got in store? Draco Meteor. Now that's an interesting play. It is going to sharply lower the special attack of that Clefable, but did a significant amount of damage to the already poisoned regular Alakazam there. As we see, there we go. There's that poison damage once again, bringing Alakazam into the red. And also bringing Shiny Clefable into the red as well. This could go either way at this point. Alakazam may be able to equalize, may be able to claw something back and turn this battle around. Going for the Taunt, that means that Clefable won't be able to use Metronome now and can only use Struggle for the next few turns. Regular Alakazam goes for Crab Hammer. That is going to take out the Shiny Clefable. That's written off, basically, the Clefable team, because now the Clefable team has one Pokemon and it can only use Struggle, which is going to take 25% of its HP away, even if it manages to survive any attacks that Alakazam can bring out. There's a not very effective Fury Cutter just for a little bit of cheeky chip damage there. What will the other Alakazam bring to the table? Brings in another Dizzy Punch. It's going to bring Clefable into the red. It's going to struggle. Whether it takes out an Alakazam or not is irrelevant now, because it's going to knock itself out with Recoil. Down goes Clefable, and it's 1-1 in this contest. Here we go, round 3. This is the round that makes the difference here. We have Clefable and we have Alakazam. Oh my word, it could really go either way. We had dominant Clefable in the first round, dominant Alakazam in the second round. What's it going to be in round 3? Synthesis coming out from Shiny Alakazam, of course, is useless because it's at full HP. What are you going to do, guys? What are you going to do? We get a heal block. Now, that's interesting. So both the Clefable will be unable to heal themselves if they do find any moves like Synthesis or Wish or anything like that. Hyper Beam, though, coming out from the regular Clefable. They want this victory. They are bringing out the big guns from the get-go. Almost, I think that's about half, well, it's more than half HP on that Shiny Alakazam. We see an X-Scissor coming out onto the Shiny Alakazam. That's got to be, it's a knockout on the Shiny Alakazam. The Clefable team are not messing around. They want to be MetroMania Champion. They are clawing this victory out of the hands of Alakazam. Focus Blast misses, as you would expect with Focus Miss. Oh my word. What are you going to do, Clefable? Psybeam, it's not going to be a very effective move, but at this point, the Clefable team have the numbers advantage. It's not looking good. There's the recharge from that Hyper Beam. Alakazam, you need another Gunk Shot or something like that. Flame Charge, going to raise its speed and do a little bit of damage, but that's not really what you want to be doing at this stage. You really need to be on the full-on offensive. Bring out the big guns. Do as much as you possibly can. We see a Jump Kick. Again, not going to be very effective. The Clefable team are just toying with this Alakazam now. They're just playing around with it. They know that they've got the victory in hand. Phantom Force, once that hits, that'll hit on the next turn. Once that hits, that's going to do significant, super effective damage to Alakazam. Alakazam really needs something like a dive or a dig at this point. Ice Fang avoided by the Shiny Clefable, or maybe it was the other Clefable it was targeting, who knows. Thunder coming out from Shiny Clefable, that's going to do a decent amount of damage. That's got pretty high base power there. Alakazam is in the yellow. Here comes the Phantom Force from the other Clefable, and it's over just like that. Your first heat winners are the Clefable team taking down Alakazam. There's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the quarterfinals, your first winner, it's Clefable. So there we are. The first episode of Metromania was quite an episode. I honestly did not expect Clefable to be the one that comes out on top here. Like, it was so dominant in those two battles, and I didn't think it would be, if I'm honest. Like, I knew Clefable had bulk, but I didn't know that it had that kind of firepower as well. So, bad luck, Alakazam. Clefable moves on, and they will face the winner of Heat 2 when we get round to the quarterfinals. This is going to be an absolutely mental series. I hope you're along for the ride with me. Hit like if you enjoyed, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and I'll see you in the next episode of Metromania. But until then, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.